Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Magical Memories with Maddie, the podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which you can find located over at Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World and Disneyland Park over at the Disneyland Resort. Now, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is, of course, based off of the newer sequel trilogy movies, but they do, of course, feature other things you sometimes can see, like The Mandalorian with Baby Yoda walking around, or Grogu, if you will, and other fun things. So let's learn all about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Now, I'm actually a really big Star Wars fan, so I was very excited about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which it opened back in 2019, just for a little bit of history. Now, just to let you guys know, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been open for years, but it just still feels like the newest thing ever. And every time I go, I still find myself finding new things. They also do sometimes add new things, so that's fair. I've been to both Disneylands and Disney Worlds, and there are a few differences. Not major, but there are a few. So let's really get into the hash of the main things about it, and then I'll talk about some of the differences between the two lands. So the first thing you need to know is there are two attractions in Galaxy's Edge. There's Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Rise of the Resistance is like one of the most popular rides to come in the last 5 years. It is one of the coolest rides I've ever seen because it literally has like three different track functions in it within one ride. Like you're on a track in a trackless ride, like riding around like a first order ship, and then you are dropped into a simulation like toward the end. And that is like the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. And the detail in this ride, like I saw things on this ride the last time I rode it that I didn't see before. Like it's actually insane. There's two different modes too, like one with an animatronic of Kylo Ren at one point where he like almost blows out of the ship. And if you get to see a video clip, you're probably watching it right now. But there's one where he gets to blow out of the ship, whatever, almost like somebody destroys it and he blows out. And then there's one where he's like on a screen. And that's pretty cool that there's actually like a difference depending on what's working on the attraction. And I like that they did that where they have a backup if it's not working, because I think that's really smart for Disney, because then they can keep running the ride and they don't have to have it be down for so long, and then people are like waiting and they don't get to ride it, or they're really disappointed, because that ride does get like a really high wait whether you're in Disneyland or you're Disney World. I do find the wait gets higher for Disney World than it does for Disneyland. I never saw like a super high wait when I was in Disneyland for this ride. Um, I never have waited more than like 40 minutes for it, to be fair, but I also usually ride this one like first. Um, but the first time I rode it, I did wait like an hour and a half. But this is one of the cooler rides that I've ever seen in the last few years. Like Disney really upped their game with their attractions and making them really cool and fun. And this is definitely one of them. It's my go-to pick if I were in Disneyland Park and it was, and I was going to Disneyland for the first time, that would be the first ride of the day, especially because it's an individual lightning lane ride, which means you have to pay for that individual lane. So you either have to wait in line for a really long time, or you have to go ride it first, or you have to pay for the lightning lane. So I'll go ride that one first. And same for Hollywood Studios, because it is the best. Now, last time I went to Hollywood Studios, I did Jollywood Nights, so I actually was able to join the virtual queue for this ride and not have to wait in line for it physically, which I thought was awesome. I do highly recommend after hours events. If they do the virtual queue, I do recommend you joining the virtual queue, because you can go do all the other fun things while you wait in line. But the actual party didn't start until 8, and we did get in at 6:40. And I have to say, I was surprised that the wait time was like 90 minutes that evening. Like, it was actually insane to me. Now, the other ride in the land is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which, if you are a fan of Han Solo, you've always wanted to pilot or fly the Millennium Falcon, like this is the ride for you. This is literally that ride. And the coolest thing to me about this ride is anything that you do, if you're a pilot, actually affects the movement of the ship. Like, you are actually flying the ship. Not really. Like, they can take over if you, like, don't do anything, but, like, whatever you're doing actually makes an effect. Like, if you jump to hyperspace, you jump in hyperspace. If you go left, if you go right, if you go up, you go down, like, you are moving the ship. The gunners have to, like, shoot at things, and the engineers have to fix the repairs for anything that gets damaged on the ship, because obviously most people that fly the ship are not very good at flying the ship. I've never had a good pilot experience, even as the pilot myself, where the ship did not get damaged in some way or the other, but it, to me, never felt like it was my fault. The last time I think it kind of was. But the first time we wrote it, my mom was just kind of like going like crazy with the thingy, and she didn't realize that she really was like moving the ship so much. And so it was really funny. I was like, hold it still. You don't need to do anything. It was really funny. So yeah, this is definitely a fun experience. If you have a group of at least six, you are definitely going to have a lot of fun on this, because you will end up with another party if you're a smaller group, like 2 or 3 or whatever. They will combine you with other parties. I've done it before. And also you can do single rider line for this if you're worried about the wait time, and walk right on this ride, which I think is awesome, that you can literally just walk right on most of the time, because that ride does sometimes get a pretty high wait too, depending on the day, depending on how busy it is. I recommend riding it first thing in the morning after Rise of Resistance, or later in the evening. But single rider is always the way to go. But this one is included in Genie Plus, so if you can get Genie Plus for the day and you're gonna get it, I would get it if the wait's really high. But first thing in the morning, you don't need it. You can, like I said, walk on with single rider. And if you're 2 people with single rider 2 walking on, I'll usually put both of you in the engineer spot, so you still end up on the same ship. It's not like there's a picture, so you don't have to worry about anything, like anybody being not in the picture or whatever. It's just a fun little time. So that's the attractions over at Galaxy's Edge. Now let's get on to the food. So Disney did a really wonderful job of making it seem like we had out of this world food for this land. And they took it above and beyond for Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, but that is closed. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about Galaxy's Edge. So they have a couple places to eat here. They have Docking by 7, Ronto Roasters, Oga's Cantina, which is pretty much just a bar, and you have to have a reservation. The Milk Stand, Cat Saka Kettle, the popcorn stand, and those are the places to eat. And there are carts throughout where you can get the cool like bomb detonator. Sorry about the burping. I don't know what's wrong with me. You can get these cool bomb detonator looking Coca-Cola product things. I'll show you guys a picture in a video form. But yeah, they look like little like bombs, and they have a Dasani water bottle one that looks really cool too. So they have Coke, Sprite, Diet Coke, and these little bottles. They are super cool. I highly recommend getting at least one, because you have to get these from like the stands, and maybe like the popcorn stand. I think they do it like they give them like this too. I can't remember, but yeah, like if you go get Coca-Cola at like Docking Bay 7 or Ronto Roasters or whatever, they're not going to give it to you like in one of these little bottles. You have to get it from these carts. So just a note, if you really want one of those, you have to get it from a cart. So yeah, let's talk about the food. So, Docking Bay 7 is open for lunch and dinner, and they serve lots of fun, interesting food items. I think the menu over in Disney World is better than the one in Disneyland. It's very minimal in Disneyland. They have very few things over there. But they do have the cold brew black calf, which is extremely popular. This is the Cocoa Puff cream cheese, like cold foam, cold brew that you can find in Galaxy's Edge. Now, in Disneyland, you can get it at Docking Bay 7, and you have to wait until 10 a.m. when Docking Bay 7 opens to get your coffee. Whereas at Disney World, another reason why Disney World's a little bit better, you can get it as early as like 9 a.m. at the popcorn stand, and they even sell a spiked version where it comes with alcohol, which means you can get an alcoholic version of this coffee. And this is a really good coffee. I only tried it at Disneyland because when I last went to Disney World, I went to Hollywood Studios for Jollywood Nights, and I wasn't gonna drink coffee and be up all night. So, because I had to go to the park the next day. So I was being out late anyway. I didn't need the coffee. It probably would have helped, but I definitely didn't need it. If I had gone earlier in the day, if I could have been there during the day at Hollywood Studios, I might would have gotten it. But not getting in until 6:40 wasn't necessary. But I did really want to try it on this trip, and that was something I was going to do until we changed our plans to Hollywood Studios being done during Jollywood Nights. In fact, I didn't get to try any of the food on my list in Galaxy's Edge because I wanted to focus on the Jollywood Nights exclusive foods that I can't get any other time. But yeah, Docking by Seven over in Disneyland and Disney World are pretty fun. They have pretty good food options. Over in Disney World, they have this like these pork ribs. They have um this tuna poke thing. I don't really know. All kinds of fun things. And then Disneyland, they just have a smaller menu. So you have to check out the menu based off of where you're going. But that's Docking Bay 7. Then they also have Ronto Roasters. Now this one you will know when you will find it. Your nose will find it before you do because you will smell it because it smells amazing. So Ronto Roasters is basically like the king of the Ronto wrap. Like this is what you're gonna get here. You're gonna get wraps. They have the Ronto morning wrap, the Ronto wrap, the Zuki wrap, the Triple Suns breakfast wrap. Now they don't have the Zuki and the Triple Suns over in Disneyland. They only have them in Disney World, but they have the other two in Disney World Land. And I have to say, I've tried the morning wrap in both Disneyland and Disney World, and it's better in Disneyland because it's actually scrambled eggs instead of that like just cooked fake fake like egg that thing that they do for Hollywood Studios. But the Ronto wrap is like pretty much the same, and it's really good. I really like it. If you don't like slaw, you can get it without slaw. And if you're at Disney World, you can actually order the Ronto wrap at Docking Bay 7 after 3 p.m. Um, which I think is pretty cool. But in Disneyland, Ronto Roasters is open till the evening, which I liked because I was able to get my Ronto wrap in the evening. And that was really fun because I really wanted to try the Ronto wrap at Disneyland. And so I was really happy that I did because I didn't get to have any Star Wars food on my last trip to Disney World. So it was nice that I got to get some over in Disneyland. And I did because I also tried like other things. So the Ronto Roasters is pretty popular, pretty great place, and it is right by the marketplace. So you can walk around and eat your Ronto wraps while you shop in those little shops. They will not get mad at you for eating or drinking or anything because it's an open air market. It's really totally fine. And also, you're probably not going to find somewhere to sit, especially in Disney World. Disneyland, I don't know how me and my mom found a table to sit down, honestly, either time that we were eating there. Like there was like nobody there. It surprised me so much. I guess Disneyland goers are more like eat while we walk, but like Disney World, you're never gonna find a table. Like even when Bronto Roasters is closed, all those tables are full because people sit there all the time randomly. I'm not even kidding. And so then right next to it is Katsaka Kettle, and that is the popcorn stand. Now in Disneyland, they change out this popcorn all the time to be different flavors, and I'm still mad that we didn't get any that time because I think it was a different flavor in Disneyland, but it's the same flavor all the time at Disney World. And it is the iconic Star Wars popcorn. I've had this popcorn, the one that's at Disney World all the time, but I've never tried any of the other flavors over in Disneyland. I've seen all kinds of interesting ones. I think I saw one time a banana one. And then they have the buttered blue grains as well at Disney World, which is I think just like blue popcorn. And like I said, at Disney World, this is where you can get your cold brew black calf. I can't talk. I'm sorry. And that's really delicious. Highly recommend it. If you're at Disney World at 9 a.m., go get your Ronto morning wrap for breakfast and go get your coffee right next door. It's genius. In fact, go get the coffee and then go get your breakfast because you can mobile order that. And then you have to stir the heck out of that coffee, by the way. I saw one of my favorite YouTubers say that she just didn't really like it. And she also was drinking like a sip of coffee and then a sip of foam. No, girl, you gotta stir it. You gotta stir it. It ain't good if you don't stir it. Because it's just basic coffee. Like, it's not. No, you have to stir that. It's so much. But it's really good. Anyway, the milk stand, of course, sells green milk and blue milk. blue milk is one of the most iconic things in Star Wars, and that's why I'm so mad at the way that they did blue milk. It is a slushy. It's a green milk too. It's a slushy. Why is it a slushy? It was just milk before. And the craziest thing is they have it like in like a milk-like form in Oga's Cantina, but at the milk stand, it's just like a slushy thing. Now in Disney World, they have alcoholic versions of blue and green milk that you can get. I've not tasted those because I forgot about it on my last trip to get one that night when I was at Hollywood Studios because I was running around like crazy trying to ride all the rides because we weren't doing Jollywood Nights just to go explore and have fun at Jollywood Nights. We were doing it to like ride all the rides. So like we weren't like taking time to do anything. So yeah, I'm kind of mad at myself. But honestly, I don't know if the milk stand was even open. So it may not have been. May have been fine. There wasn't like everything that was open, but it was still fun. But yeah, they have the blue milk cooler and the green milk cooler. One's with tequila and one's with rum, I think. I don't know which one's which. I think it's the blue milk with rum and the green milk with tequila. So that can kind of depend on your preference. Some people love it, some people hate it. It really depends. It's an acquired taste. To me, these milks taste like Fruity Pebbles, like the milk from Fruity Pebbles, which is why I don't get why it's like a slushy. Like it should be like just Fruity Pebbled milk. Like after you have a bowl of Fruity Pebbles and you drink the milk, like that's what it tastes like. But like I don't know, it's weird. I don't know how to describe this milk at all. But that's what I'm gonna say about that. So yeah. Um, Finally, Ugo's Cantina. Now, you are required to have a reservation in order to go to Oga's Cantina. But let me tell you a little thing that I found out that was fun. You can join a walk up list, and you can join it any time of the day based off of the weight for your party size, whatever. You might actually be able to get into Oga's Cantina. Now, when I was in Disneyland, we were able to get in later in the evening. Like, we had a reservation, but like that evening, I could have joined the walk up list if I wanted to. But I had a reservation, so I wasn't worried about it. But yeah, Disney World, you're more than likely to have the reservation, especially if you have a bigger group. If you have like one or two people, you might be able to squeeze in. They might be able to squeeze you in. Just join the walk up list or um, whatever. You can do it on your phone on the My Disney Experience app. You don't have to walk up all the way over to Oga's Cantina. It's probably not going to be open first thing in the morning anyway. Um, I don't know when it opens. I think it opens at 9 though, so I don't really know why I'm saying that. Yeah, you can drink as early as 9 a.m., you guys. But the cool thing about Oga's Cantina is if you get your reservations on the right night, like I tried to get a reservation for during Jollywood Nights because I just wanted to get like a drink because I like to try all the drinks. I want to try all the drinks from Oga's, but I couldn't get one that night because I'd had one for our other day the next day, but I didn't want to go back to that park. We didn't have to. And I was like, I'll try to get it for Dollywood Nights. And I forgot to try to just go during Dollywood Nights. I completely forgot about it. But I had other drinks in mind anyway, so it was fine. But um yeah, August Cantina, it can be hard to get a reservation sometimes. Haven't had issues in the last two trips that I went on last year, so I don't know if it's just not as popular anymore. But it has really fun drinks. And yes, you can take the kids because they have non-alcoholic beverages as well as alcoholic. And they have wine, they have beer, they have mixed drinks, and they have obviously like mocktail drinks as well for the kids, which is really fun, including that blue milk that I talked about. Lots of fun drinks here. My favorite is the one that I had last time. I think it's called the Outer Rim. It's like a pomegranate like margarita. I did not like the black salt on the rim, but this drink was actually really, really good. Other than that black salt, I didn't care for that. It was weird. It was too salty. It might have been pepper. I don't even know. But I didn't like that, so I didn't drink it with the salt. I drank it was only on like part of the cup, thankfully, so I didn't have to deal with it. Like I could just drink from a different side of the cup and it was a-okay. But my mom got this blue wine on this trip and it's obviously in all of these pictures that I'm showing you because why not? And this blue wine was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I'm sorry. I don't even remember what it's called, but it was disgusting. Anyway, moving on. Now that we spent 10 minutes talking about food, let's talk about some shopping because, yes, Galaxy's Edge, you're going to want to shop because the merchandise here is super cool. I'm going to do a video showing you guys some pictures of some of my merchandise items that I have while I talk. So, first, they have, of course, the droid building and the lightsaber building. I've done both of these and they're both really cool. The lightsaber building, you need to have that reservation like in advance. You are not going to be able to walk up and get a reservation and go build a lightsaber. It is not going to happen. You have to book this in advance. Now, I saw reservations like in advance, I think back in 21 when I first did it. Um, like close up to the trip, like people do last minute cancel, whatever, but eventually they fill up. So, you can keep checking, keep checking, keep checking. But as soon as you get like if you're able to book dining reservations, try to go book your Savi's workshop reservation. This one's more important than Droid. Droid you can add later. You can wait a little bit. You don't have to do it right off the bat. You could probably do the Droid building like the day of, honestly, because if you wait late enough in the evening, there's nobody in line. You can just walk right in and do it. Um, at least that's how it was in Disneyland when I went. But I also booked the Droid building reservation for like 11 o'clock, so fair. Like nobody's gonna be at Disneyland at 11 o'clock. Which that was the craziest thing was that the park was open till midnight that night. I was so happy about it. I got to go to Galaxy's Edge at night. If Rise of Resistance was open that night, I would have been on that ride, but it wasn't, and I was so disappointed. I would have been like, "Let's go ride Rise of Resistance." It's like, no way. Of course, it was closed. So yeah, the lightsaber building is super cool. You literally get to have this fun little like experience as you build. You get to pick your kyber crystal for this, which I think is super cool. And the coolest thing about the fact that you can pick your kyber crystal is if you go over to um, Doc Ondar's, they actually sell all the colors of kyber crystals. You can buy other colors and change out your color so that because they only have a few options here. They have red, blue, green, and purple. Like that's it. And so if you wanted like white or you want yellow, um, oh no, I think they have green too. You can't get those at Savi's. You have to go buy them, and then you can put them in your lightsaber. And that's a pretty cool function. That's the only way you can ever get different colored lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge because the character ones are like that color of the character one. Like you can't change the color, but you can really customize your Savi's Workshop lightsaber to the fullest. There's like 5 different design options as well, and this is the one I picked if you're watching the video. I can't remember what it's called, so you're gonna have to look up a picture. I'll try to have it on Instagram or something today when this episode goes up. But yeah, you really want to have an idea in mind of what you want to do, but they will like when you get there, when you check in and you pay for everything and everything, they will like open up the drawers and they'll show you and you can take your time like looking at the designs and what you want, and then they give you a pin. And so the pin, no, they when you're inside, you have to wear this pin so that they know which set of like parts to give you, and you actually kind of get like 2 options for some of these like things when you build it, so you can go one way or another way with the one design, and that's pretty cool. And then they sell these other things that you can attach at the bottom of your lightsaber now. I haven't bought one because I just haven't bothered with buying any accessories, but it's like a little like wood thing that screws onto the bottom, like it replaces whatever screwed onto the bottom, I guess. That's pretty cool. Doesn't probably help much if you're trying to display your lightsaber. It probably makes it hard if you have like one of those lightsaber display things like I do. But also my lightsaber, all of my videos are going to be old because my lightsaber batteries need to be changed and I keep forgetting to change them. But anyway, to the droid. So I also built a droid in Galaxy's Edge, and I did this in Disneyland. And you can either get the box or you can get the backpack bundle. And if you get the backpack bundle, you get a personality chip, the backpack, and the droid. And they used to sell these like decals that you can put on it to like change the color of it and stuff, but they don't anymore because I was gonna buy them at Disney World and they didn't have them, and I was very upset. So that's disappointing. So you can't make your droids super customized anymore. Unfair. And I wish that I would have thought about it when I was in Disneyland because I think I saw the stuff there. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. But the backpack's super cool. If you're watching, here's the backpack. I basically built R2D2, so here's him, and I named him R2M2 because he's mine. And there are other cool accessories though you can buy that are fun. They have like a thing that you can buy to like make it look like it's got the serving tray, like from Return of the Jedi. They have like this little drag thing that like pulls something. Like they have little jets and stuff for the R2s. Those are super fun. They don't really have any for the BB units. Sorry. But yeah, you can build a BB, you can build R2, and you can build like a chopper, like C whatever. I forgot what his numbers are. Which is pretty cool. That you can build chopper now too. That wasn't available when I built mine, but I didn't also really know who Chopper was, so it didn't really matter. But you can buy Chopper as well, and you can buy R2. And honestly, I think the only cool thing about me building this droid is just the fact that it's that I built it because it looks just like the R2. So yeah, that's the droid building and the lightsabers for you guys. And there's other shops as well. Like I said, there's Doc Ondar's. Now, Doc Ondar's is like the store if you're like the big memorabilia kind of person because they sell all the character lightsabers here. Like most of the characters, not all the characters, but they like this is where they sell the bulk of them. You can buy lightsabers in other stores. Like they have the Star Wars store in Disney Springs and downtown Disney. I think there's like a Lego store, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the Star Wars store over in Disney Springs also sells some of the lightsabers. It doesn't have all of them though. I can bet you, because there's a lot. This whole case is like full lightsabers. Now, I've never seen like what characters they have. I only know of like a few just off the top of my head, but they'll have characters like Luke Skywalker, like Kylo Ren, like Rey, like Ahsoka Tano, a bunch of cool characters. You have to really go look at it and check it out, but it's definitely one of the cooler things that you can buy merchandise wise. So you don't have to build your own lightsaber. You can just buy a character's lightsaber. But I wanted to build my lightsaber because I wanted it to be more meaningful to me and cool. And also I like the purple color because mine's purple. Um, but you can buy a character lightsaber if you want. I just found based off the price because I was like, I'll just buy one. I looked up the prices. You have to buy the blade separate. It doesn't come included with your handle. And I wanted to buy Ahsoka's, and so when I did the math, Ahsoka's was going to be like $100 more than to build it myself. And when I built it myself, it came with all that. It came with the sheath. I still don't have to buy that too, and I have to buy two for hers because she has two lightsabers. So it just sounded like it was going to be a really expensive ordeal to buy the character lightsabers that I wanted. So I did not. I just built my own, and these are seriously heavy. So if you're thinking about doing the cool lightsaber videos, good luck. Good luck. That's all I have to say. Like, you better have some strength because these things are heavy. Like, mine, I feel like it's made out of metal or something. Like, it is heavy. So, yeah. Also at Doc Ondar's, of course, kyber crystals, holocrons, other cool, like, memorabilia. Like, I think you can buy, like, Princess Leia's dress. You could buy, like, other cool things. Now, they have some shops in the market. They have, like, a creature store. You can buy little creatures. They have like a little there's one where you could buy like this cool mug and they have like shirts and stuff. It's kind of they have the outfitters one where you could buy like Kylo Ren's like outfits or Rey's outfits from the movies. Like they just have a bunch of really cool shops. A little toy maker shop where they have like wooden toys that are like very in universe themed to Star Wars. Lots of really cool stuff. Um, I think that's it for Galaxy's Edge shops. Yeah, that's it. So that's all the shops. What else is there? So currently they have this really cool thing called like the Bat Bounty Hunter game, and you have to have a Magic Band Plus to play this game, and my play Disney Parks app. But after you have those two, you can play. I've yet to play it because I keep forgetting about it. And I'm also just really busy. Like Disneyland, it was my first time ever going, so I didn't have any time for it that day. And then Disney World, like I said, I did Hollywood Studios. I didn't get it until 6:40. We were trying to ride rides. I literally didn't have any time. Like we were all over the place, but like we were doing stuff every single like second. I rarely was like sitting around doing nothing. If I was, I was eating. Um, so yeah. Um, but you scan your like Magic Band, and it changes colors to different colors for different things. Like I think it's like red if you're going the wrong way. It's like purple if you're getting closer, and then I don't know. It's different colors, and then you find like a bounty, and you go back and you can collect your bounty. And it's just like a cool way to like interact in the Star Wars world. Now you can also do Play Disney Parks just by itself, the Star Wars data pad. You have to be in Galaxy's Edge, either in Disneyland or Disney World, but you can do it. And your achievements cross over between the worlds, so and they stay. Like I still had all of my stuff when I went to on my last trip to Disney World. Now, obviously, I just got to Disneyland earlier that year, but I did some of that stuff I got in 21. So like they stay like consistently there, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, you can like when you ride Millennium Falcon with the Play Disney Parks, like the data pad. There's like things there's you get a wage from Hondo for flying the Falcon and doing the job for him. You can get that. Like you can play a game in line for Rise of Resistance, and you can help the Resistance, or you can help the First Order, whatever, and that can determine your factors into that. You can scan these little things all throughout Galaxy's Edge and get like different what are they called? Cargo items or whatever. You can listen into frequencies and find conversations and find out like what the First Order may be up to, what the Resistance is up to, and whatever. Like there's all kinds of cool things you can do throughout the land, and I like to do them. I mainly end up doing just Rise of Resistance ride stuff because there are cargo things you can scan in the line for Rise of Resistance. Because I don't really ever like walk around enough, and it was nighttime when I was here last, so I didn't really get to like see in prime daylight. But yeah, in 2021, I was going around doing Play Disney Parks, and it was really cool because you could scan and find all these things. You can hack into droids. Like, there's so many cool things that you can do. I think you can even hack into the Millennium Falcon, which is definitely the photo op, by the way. Definitely want to get a picture with the Millennium Falcon. Now, I would say it's a lot easier to get a picture with nobody around the Millennium Falcon in Disneyland than it is Disney World, especially if it's open really late. But I imagine if Disney World's open really late too, that you could probably do it with nobody around. But yeah, it's really hard during the day. But there are some like actual photographers in Galaxy's Edge for the Memory Maker photos that you can get on your trip. So if you have the Memory Maker, I'm gonna tell you there's a few photo ops. There's one by like this wall. And by the way, if you buy a lightsaber, definitely don't forget to take your pictures with your lightsaber. But there's one like by this wall, and then there's another one that I got on my trip. I don't know if it was exclusive to Jollywood Nights. It might have been, but I don't think it was. Where I got to hold this like little ball thing. I think it might be a Life Day one. So maybe it's like all year, like Christmas. So maybe it was exclusive, but like it probably was available all day too. And I got to hold this like little ball thing that lights up, and they made like a cool effect over it in the picture. If you're watching, you can see it. I'm gonna post these random clips, by the way, on like TikTok or an Instagram for you guys. If you every time I say like if you're watching, you can see it. Like I'm gonna post the picture and I'll add the clip of me talking, just so you guys know. So you're gonna have to go follow me on Instagram at Magical Memories Maddie on TikTok. Please do that. Help me out. Give me some followers. Um, I post clips all the time, you guys. It's really fun. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in Galaxy's Edge. It's a really cool place. I like it a lot. But let's talk about some of the differences and then we will wrap up this video. So the first major difference that I noticed besides the food is the layout is the same. The layout of Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland and Disney World is the exact same, but there's three entrances to Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland, whereas Disney World, there's really only like two, and one is like through Toy Story Land, so you have to go through Toy Story Land to get back to the rest of the park, and the other one's like to like where the Muppets and stuff is, and Hollywood Studios. So Hollywood Studios, the entrance is it's a lot harder to get out of Galaxy's Edge than it is at like Disneyland. And Disneyland, I swear you guys, I keep forgetting that the entrances are like this. And I keep trying to go to like the closest thing, like where I need to go and whatever. And I would go to the complete wrong spot, or I would just be going the wrong way all the time. Like one time I was trying to go to the bathroom after Rise of Resistance, and I almost ended up walking out of Galaxy's Edge entirely. Like I walked the complete wrong direction. Um, and I didn't realize it for the longest time because it's so crazy and there's so many different entrances, and like I was trying to be like smart and be like, okay, we're gonna go this way because it's closer to where Rise of Resistance is in Disneyland, and then the line ended up being like closer to like the other entrance, and I was like, could have went that way. So things like that too. The entrances confuse me. The other thing is the alcohol thing. So in Hollywood Studios, they have like the okay to basically serve alcoholic beverages at other places other than Oga's Cantina. They're allowed to serve it throughout the land, whereas Disneyland, because it's Disneyland Park, they don't have any alcohol anywhere except for Oga's Cantina, and you're not allowed to take your drinks to go like you are in Hollywood Studios. So like all of the like quick service locations in Hollywood Studios sell like a drink, alcoholic drink, whereas they don't over in Disneyland, like at all. And one of them, the Take It On a Quencher they sell, is available at Oga's Cantina in Disneyland because obviously they can't sell it at like Ducking Bay 7 or something. So if you're looking for a drink and you couldn't get a reservation at Oga's, if you're at Hollywood Studios, you might be in luck. You can get those milk coolers. You can get the Take It On a Quencher from Ducking Bay 7. I think they have the Surly Surlac or something at Ducking Bay 7 and also Ronto Roasters. They have a couple options over there in Hollywood Studios for you guys to have drinks. I still recommend Oga's Cantina though, obviously. But I've heard that the Take It Down a Quencher is really good, and I've been wanting to try it, but I forgot. I haven't done it yet. I should have tried it in Disneyland, honestly. But I was like, no, because I can just get it like at a quick service place in Disney World on my next trip. That didn't happen. So anyway, um, what else? So that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to talk about for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Everything I've discussed. I think I said earlier in the video, you know, you can might see characters walking around. That might be the last thing to talk about. Yeah, you'll see like Rey, you'll see Kylo Ren, Chewbacca. Um, there's this character for Galaxy's Edge. I forgot her name. she has like blue hair or something. She's on like one of the shirts. I don't even remember her name because I've never even met her. But that's pretty cool. You might even see a droid roaming around. Maybe R2D2 will come out. You'll definitely see stormtroopers, and the stormtroopers are so fun if you're like in the right spot at the right time because they'll walk up to you and they'll talk to you and you know, make sure your allegiance is to the First Order, and it's really funny. Um, but yeah, but overall, for my experiences between the two lands, I actually like Disneyland's better. Mainly because I've never been to the one in Disney World and ever been talked to by any of the workers unless I talk to them first. Like normally, like I see videos about how people are being greeted like rising moons or whatever, like their little language. I never get that at Disney World. Whereas Disneyland, I was like, because I had a first visit button on because it was my first time to Disneyland. They were like, "Welcome to your first time to Batu." Like they genuinely were like nice, and they were talking. You know, and I'm like on a run through. Like I'm like running through to go get my coffee. That's the only reason I was walking in there at all. And of course, everybody's surrounded by Kylo Ren walking by, and so I'm like, "Excuse me," running right on by. I don't even care. Even Kylo Ren can't stop me with the Force. Like I'm zooming. It was really funny. But yeah. I like Disneyland's a lot better. The only thing I like about Disney World's more is you can drink at most of the places and you can get the cold brew black half earlier in the day. So I guess it depends on what I'm in the mood for, but yeah. I kind of like Disneyland's better for like a first time visit kind of trip. Like if you've never been to Galaxy's Edge, it might be better to go to Disneyland's for the first time and then go to Disney World's because they are so similar that you wouldn't even know that you're like, you know, like you might would think you're in Florida. If it wasn't for the weather in California versus Florida, like the difference in the weather, that's the only thing that's going to tell you you're in a different place. Like literally the same. But also the one other difference is that Florida, because they have the Galactic Star Cruiser, they have that entrance from the Galactic Star Cruiser like little shuttle thing. That is, I think, the only difference. As another difference too is that whole area is not in California, obviously, because they didn't do the Galactic Star Cruiser. Also, let me know, you guys, if you want me to talk about the Galactic Star Cruiser. It's closed, so I personally don't see a point because I'm trying to do informative videos about the current Disney parks and Universal and whatever. But I would definitely like to talk about um anything you guys want me to talk about. I can just do it on my Instagram, on my TikTok, whatever if you want. Like I don't have to do a whole episode dedicated to it. Just let me know what you guys want me to talk about. But let's get on to some Disney news or and Universal news, whatever. So Universal news, the lineup for the Mardi Gras concert series was revealed, and that's pretty cool. So if you're interested in going during Mardi Gras season, you should definitely hit me up at Maddie World at Your Feet on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, whatever, because I can help you book your trip. And I did post that concert lineup today, um, as of recording this, which is the January 19th, Friday, January 19th. In case you're not listening on that day. So that lineup should definitely be posted. And I'm super excited to help you guys book those trips if you do want to reach out to me. That's a cool thing to know. Also, I saw the DreamWorks sign for the DreamWorks land is now up, like it's put up. There's still construction walls. If you're wondering where this area is, I did see it on my last trip. I didn't take any pictures of it. I wish I had. But it's basically like right by the ET ride. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be really cool. So that's Universal. Disney, I've posted about a ton of offers on my threads as well as on my Instagram over the course of the last month that they have right now at Disney World. They also have some for Disneyland, so you should check out my page, message me, whatever. If you have certain dates in mind, ask me and see if there's possibility that it's within a discount. Some of these may depend on some requirements like Florida residency or Disney Plus subscriber, but some don't have any requirements at all, like they're just a discounted room or whatever. There's like a play and dine 50% off for kids one. That's pretty cool. And that one does not have any requirements to it. So if you have kids under the age of 10, like ages 3 to 9, that's a great offer for you. Like I said, go hit me up over at Maddie World at Your Feet on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and let me know about what your plans are. If you want to book a trip, whatever, please, 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 please book a trip with me. I want to book a trip for you. I want to make you have the most magical trip ever. And as you just heard from this entire 42-minute episode, I know everything about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and that's just the basics. I could give you probably some more tips if you book your trip with me. So you should definitely do it. So let's get started. So, of course, I have other episodes about Avengers Campus and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And yes, I plan on doing more detailed episodes. I don't actually know what to do for next week. I was thinking Pandora. So let me know, you guys, if you want me to do a Pandora episode on the land of Avatar. Avatar Land, as everybody calls it, because they forget it's called Pandora. But there are some cool things about that land, and that will definitely be a shorter episode because it's not that big. But also, I can go into detail of each park if you would like. Like, I could do a whole episode on Disneyland, on DCA, on Magic Kingdom, Hollywood, Epcot, etc. You know, like all the parks. So let me know what you guys want me to talk about, please. I'll do a little poll, and you guys let me know.